Good morning, young minds. Welcome back to biology session. In previous session, we have discussed what is plant growth regulators, what are the various types of plant growth regulators, plant growth regulators also called phytohormones. Okay, followed by what is the differentiation, de-differentiation, and redifferentiation with examples, differences. That whole topic was completed. Then after completion of that, we have discussed a brief information regarding phytohormones. Phytohormones broadly are of five kinds. Phytohormones, also called plant growth regulators, shortly called PGR. Clear? Followed by next, what are the types of phytohormones? Auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, and ethylene. Before going to discuss about plant growth regulators, one small topic is incomplete, that is plasticity. 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 What is plasticity? Generally, plant follows different pathways in response to surrounding environment to produce different types of structures. That capacity of the plant body is called plasticity. Very important. Once I repeat, plant follows different pathways, different methods in response to surrounding environment and produce various types of structures. That is called, that capacity of the plant body is called plasticity. Some examples of plasticity: cotton, coriander, larkspur, buttercup, etc. Buttercup changes occur due to environment stress. Environment changes. So look here: cotton, coriander, larkspur, and buttercup. These are the four best examples of plasticity. Plant follows different pathways, different methods in response to surrounding environment. If any changes occur in the environment, means obviously plant follow different methods. Based on following different methods, plant itself adapted towards local weather conditions. Understood? Simple example: larkspur or coriander. Juvenile leaf, juvenile stage, mature stage. Mature stage. Observe the difference between juvenile stage leaf and mature stage leaf. At juvenile stage, the shape of leaf is very simple. At mature stage, the same leaf differentiate into several leaflets. That is the major difference between initial stage of the leaf and mature stage of the leaf. For this best example, both coriander and larkspur. Then second example, buttercup. terrestrial plant, terrestrial plant aquatic plant, aquatic plant. For this best example, buttercup plant. Buttercup plant shows changes depend on surrounding environment. Same plant but different conditions. Terrestrial, land, aquatic area. Plant which grow on land, on soil, called terrestrial plant. Plant which grow in water, called aquatic plant. That you know very well. In terrestrial plant, leaves are wider. Leaves are wider, exposed towards sunlight, towards aerial. In case of aquatic plants, leaves are narrower. That is the major difference between terrestrial buttercup plant and aquatic buttercup plant. In such a way, cotton, coriander, larkspur and buttercup follows different pathways in response to surrounding environment to form various types of structures. The capacity of the plant body is known as plasticity. NCERT book diagrams. Understood now? First diagram is larkspur and second diagram represent buttercup. Of course, the shape of coriander, the plant shape of coriander also very similar to larkspur, right? 4 examples important for plasticity. That's all. Next, now we will discuss plant growth regulators. Plant growth regulators. Shortly called PGR, plant growth regulators, shortly called PGR. As I told previous class, in previous session, phytohormones are of 5 kinds: auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid and ethylene. Auxins, first auxins. Auxins are indole compounds and gibberellins are terpenes. Cytokinins are adenine derivatives, a type of purine. Adenine derivative means a type of purine. Next, abscisic acid is derivatives of carotenoids and ethylene is gaseous phytohormone. This is name of the phytohormone and their source or precursor. Now step by step we will discuss all phytohormones. The first phytohormone, auxin. Before going to discuss auxin, you must know basic introduction about scientists, historical account of scientists. 2 famous scientists, Charles Darwin and his son Francis Darwin. These 2 scientists together performed experiments on canary grass. Canary, one of the monocot leaf, grass leaf. Charles Darwin and his son Francis Darwin together performed experiments on coleoptile of canary grass, and they observed there is a substance at the tip of the coleoptile that helps in growth and development of the plant. But in those days they don't know what is that particular substance. But after some time period, another scientist, F.W. Went and their co-workers FW Wendt and their co-workers together performed experiments on oat coleoptile. Oat coleoptile. Oat coleoptile. Oat means what? Grass plant, a monocot plant, one of the grains, one of the cereals. And coleoptile means seedling. Hence, FW Wendt and their co-workers together performed experiments on oat coleoptile, and they isolated that particular substrate which is responsible for growth, stem growth, plant growth. That substrate isolated and crystallized. And who first coined the term auxin means FW Wendt. According to Greek language, auxin means to grow. Auxin means to grow. An important phytohormone that helps in growth and development of the plant. Right? Once go through simple diagrammatic representation regarding oat coleoptile. It is oat coleoptile seedling. Seedling means baby plant. Arrow mark indicates direction of light direction. Oat coleoptile grow towards the area from where sunlight is coming. Arrow mark showing sunlight direction. First step. Second step. Third step. It is tip, should tip. Then fourth step. Light direction. See, what is plant name? Oat coleoptile. Oat means grass plant. Coleoptile means seedling. It is oat coleoptile. They pass a beam of light on the tip of the oat coleoptile seedling. Then oat coleoptile bend towards light direction. Why? Means the concentration of auxin is high in shade area. It is auxin. The location of auxin is always against to light direction. Suppose if you pass a beam of light from right side, means coleoptile bend towards right side. Or if you pass a beam of light from left side, means oat coleoptile bend towards left side. How and why? What is the main reason? Means always auxins present in shade area, means located against to sunlight direction. The area where auxins are present, in that area the rate of cell division is very high than to opposite side. Then what happened? Now this side the rate of cell division is very high when compared with opposite side. Then what happened? Obviously should tip bend towards light direction. Understood now? Suppose if auxins concentration is high this side, means the rate of cell division high towards this side. Then what happened? Tip of coleoptile bend towards opposite side. Reverse. Understood now? Hence, remember one key point: auxins always present in shade area. thereby increase cell division, add new cells. Therefore, the part of the tip bend towards the opposite side. And after some time period, they cut and removed shoot tip, cut and removed shoot tip, and passed a beam of light. They observed no growth, and they wondered why, even though they passed a beam of light, but no growth. But in first condition, growth was there. After removal of shoot tip, no growth. Then third condition, they fixed again shoot tip. Whatever shoot tip cut here, the same shoot tip again fixed at the same position with the help of chemical compounds. Then they passed a beam of light. Again they observed shoot tip growth. That means what? The part of the shoot tip bent towards light direction. Light direction. That means what? Based on these two concepts, F.W. Wendt and their co-workers together confirmed there is a growth substance that is present at the tip of the shoot. When it was removed, growth stopped. When it is there, when it is fixed, again growth rate started. That means what? There is a substance that is present only at the tip of the shoot tip. An example, oat coleoptile shoot tip. And they isolated that substance and crystallized. Later they only coined the term auxin. Auxin. According to Greek language, GK means Greek language. Auxin means to grow. So due to presence of this phytohormone, the part of the shoot grow towards aerial and bend towards light direction. Light direction. That is F.W. Wendt and their co-workers' experiments on oat coleoptile seedling. It is NCERT book diagram. Understand the concept, right? Even practice diagrammatic representation. Don't forget. It is just a brief introduction about scientists like Charles Darwin, Francis Darwin, F.W. Wendt and their co-workers. Now we will discuss about auxins and their physiological role. Their physiological role in plant growth and development. Auxins broadly are of two kinds: natural auxins and artificial auxins. Natural auxins, artificial auxins. Artificial auxins. Natural auxins are of two kinds: indole 3-acetic acid, indole 3-acetic acid, acetic acid, shortly called IAA. Next to indole 3-butyric acid, butyric acid, shortly called IBA. These two are natural natural auxins. Then artificial auxins are of two kinds. NAA stands for naphthalene. Naphthalene acetic acid, shortly called NAA. Next 2,4-D stands for 2,4-dichloro-phenoxyacetic acid. Acetic acid, shortly called 2,4-D. Again, there are many other varieties of artificial auxins. An example 2 comma 4 comma 5 trichloroacetic acid, trichloroacetic acid, shortly called 2 comma 4 comma 5 T. This is short form. Like this, many varieties are there. First, go through natural oxidants. All types of plants, dicot plants, monocot plants, naturally produce oxidants called natural oxidants. Natural oxidants are of two kinds: indole 3 acetic acid, shortly called IAA; indole 3 butyric acid, shortly called IBA. Remember, very important for NEET object exam, similarly KCET exam. These two types of natural oxidants play a crucial role in growth of the stem and growth of the root in all directions. Next, to artificial oxidants are of three kinds: NAA, naphthalene acetic acid. 2,4-D stands for 2,4 dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. 2,4,5-T stands for 2,4,5 trichloroacetic acid. Out of which 2,4 dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, it acts as herbicide. This is herbicide. Okay, it control dicot weeds. Very important. 2,4 dichlorophenoxyacetic acid is one of the herbicide. Herbicide means a chemical compound which control herbs, which kill herbs. Herbs means small plants, particularly weeds. Hence, 2,4-D control dicotyledonous weeds, dicotyledonous weed plants. Suppose, if you observe in our daily life, farmers cultivate crops in their land. Along with the main crop, some waste plants, unwanted plants, that is called weeds, also called grass plants, grow rapidly. They grow as high as main crop, thereby decrease crop yield, crop production. Then how can we control dicotyledonous weed plants? Means by spraying 2,4 dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Even NAA and 2,4,5-T also acts as herbicides. Understood now? That's all. This is just a classification of oxidants. Understood? Now we will discuss physiological role of oxidants in plant growth and development. Right? Being medical student, you should remember all these concepts: natural type and artificial classification, artificial oxidants. Don't forget, right? Physiological role. What is first role? Oxidants promote roots. It promotes roots in cutting parts, in cutting regions. And second function, promote apical dominance. Apical dominance, very important. Prevent premature leaf and fruit drop off. Leaf and fruit drop off. But promote senescing, promote abscission, abscission of older leaves and fruits, right? Promote cell division, understood now? Parthenocarpy, promote parthenocarpy, right? Next to promote flowering in pineapple, right? These are the several physiological role of auxins. The first point, promote roots in cutting regions. You know well, grafting, cutting, layering, etc. Best example, take a hibiscus plant, cut one branch, remove leaves and all, select only stump, place in soil. What is stump? Stem without branch, without leaves, called stump, that's all. Stump place in soil. The tip of the stump close with cow dung or any other cattle dung, because cattle dung contain auxins. Okay, so auxins transfer from animal dung to shoot tip, hence it initiate cell division. Understood now? In such a way, auxins promote roots in stem cuttings. Stump produce buds, leaves, small branches and roots. Roots grow into deeper layers of soil. What is the reason behind that? Means auxins. Auxins promote initiation of roots from cutting portions and origin of buds, leaves, branches, everything. Best example, hibiscus, jasmine, rose, etc. Second point, promote apical dominance. Apical dominance means suppression of lateral buds by terminal bud. Look here, subbranches. Suppression of lateral buds or lateral branches by terminal bud is called apical dominance. Best example, eucalyptus tree. Select any other tall tree. Main branch, main axis grow with speed, grow fast than side branches. What is the reason? Means auxins concentration is high in shoot tip, hence auxins promote cell division. Therefore, the part of the shoot tip grow towards aerial with high speed, but side branches shows limited growth. That is called apical dominance. General simple definition, suppression of lateral buds by terminal bud is called apical dominance. Suppose if you cut shoot tip, means then side branches grow rapidly, lateral branches grow rapidly. Based on this concept, auxins also using for making hedge. Hedge means margins. Hedge making. And one more, widely using in tea plantation, tea leaf plantation. Why? Means when you cut shoot tip, main axis stop its growth, but lateral branches grow rapidly. Therefore, plant shows canopy. Canopy means broad base like umbrella shape. The same technology applied for hedge making. Hedge means border, like trench, border crop. Border crop protect main field, main land crops. Understood now? Right. Next, the same technology also used for tea plantation. When you cut the shoot tip, side branches grow rapidly and a large number of side branches produce large number of leaves. Which leaf? Tea leaf. Tea leaf. That is economically benefit to the farmers. Hence, farmers widely using this technology for tea plantation, hedge making, etc. These are the various types. Some other examples. It prevent premature leaf and fruit drop. Premature leaf and fruit drop off. Some plants naturally lost their leaves and fruits at early stage, but auxins prevent or inhibit premature leaf and fruit drop off. Next, promote abscission of older leaves and fruits. Abscission means separation, detach, separation of older leaves and fruits. Prevent premature leaf and fruit drop off, but promote the abscission of older leaves and older fruits. You don't confuse between these 2 points. Okay, quite opposite to each other. Understood? Promote cell division. Important. Promote cell division. 1 to 2 cells, 2 to 4 cells, like that. Along with cytokinins, auxins promote cell division. Next, parthenocarpy. Auxins promote parthenocarpy. Partheno means virgin. Partheno means virgin. Virgin means without sexual mode of contact. Carpy means fruit. Parthenocarpy means a process of production of seedless fruits, but without fertilization, without fusion of male and female gametes, without fertilization, only female gamete. Female gamete means egg cell. Egg cell undergo mitotic divisions to form embryo. Embryo to directly fruit, but seeds absent in parthenocarpic fruits. Such fruits are called seedless fruits. The best example for seedless fruits: tomato, banana, grapes, papaya, watermelon, etc. These are some examples of seedless fruits. And other varieties are seed fruits. Grapes, 2 varieties: seed grape, seedless grape. Similar banana also: seed banana, seedless banana. Papaya, seedless papaya. Watermelon, seed watermelon, seedless watermelon. All seedless fruits developed by parthenocarpy method. Parthenocarpy means without fusion of male and female gametes. Only female gamete undergo a series of mitotic divisions to form embryo. Later embryo develop into fruit without seeds. That method is known as parthenocarpy. Auxins promote parthenocarpy. Very important question, don't forget. Promote flowering in pineapple. Auxins also promote flowering in pineapple fruit. Understood now? Right? When the number of flowers more, means obviously number of fruits also high, because the part of the flower modify into fruit. Yes or no? Fruit is flower modification and flower is stem modification. Link is there. Hedge making. Just now I told. Hedge means margin, border crop. You can say very simply border crop. Border crop protect main field and main crop. That's all. Tea plantation. These are the some important physiological role of auxins. We are expecting compulsorily at least one question 100% or 200% from plant growth and regulators. So you must by heart all 5 phytohormones, right? Make a note all these points. NCERT book line points, very important. The second one, Gibberellins. Gibberellins, shortly called GA, gibberellic acid. A famous scientist, E. Kurosawa, Japanese scientist, E. Kurosawa first performed experiments on gibberellic acid. Japanese scientist, agriculturist, botanist. He and his co-workers together performed experiments on rice field infected by a disease called Bakane disease. Bakane, also called foolish seedling disease. Foolish seedling disease. Both are same. Bakane disease, also called foolish seedling disease. The disease causing microbe is Gibberella fujicori. Gibberella fujicori. Gibberella fujicori, a type of fungus. Gibberella fujicori. A fungus. This fungus frequently grow in paddy field, rice field. After crop cultivation, fungus infect rice seedling, and release a chemical compound into rice seedling. Then what happened? Rice plant grow more than 6 feet height. But generally, the height of rice plant is just 2 to 3 feet. That is common. But Bakane disease infected rice field, or foolish seedling disease infected rice plant grow more than 6 feet height. Hence it is known as foolish seedling disease or Bakane disease. Bakane, Japanese term, and causing microbe Gibberella fujicori. It is a type of fungus. Important for NEET object exam. Remember scientist name, disease name, and disease causing microbe name. Important, right? Then go through the first gibberellic acid is GA3, gibberellic acid 3. This is the first isolated gibberellic acid. Later on, GA1, GA2, GA4, GA5, like this. More than 100 varieties of gibberellic acids discovered. But the first isolated gibberellic acid is GA3. And GA3 was widely found in all types of plants. It plays a crucial role in plant growth and development. Understood now? So after discovery of GA3, several world biologists discovered more than 100 varieties of gibberellic acids like GA1, GA2, GA4, GA5, GA6, like that. GA stands for gibberellic acid. Clear? This is about just scientist introduction regarding gibberellic acid. Next to physiological role of gibberellic acid. First role, gibberellic acid promote bolting. It promote bolting. Bolting means internode elongation. Right? It is applicable for some plants such as dwarf plants, sugar beet, cabbage, cauliflower, cauliflower, and some other rosette arrangement of leaves. A rosette arranged leaf plants, etc. Right? Next to gibberellic acid, promote, see look here, rosette arrangement of leaf means like this. Like this, dwarf plants grow towards aerial due to internode elongation. Internode elongation. Node, 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 node. See, node, node, internode. Space between two nodes called internode. Gibberellic acid promote bolting. Bolting stands for, bolting means internode elongation. Means dwarf internode become tall. Obviously the height of the plant increase in lengthwise. Like this dwarf plant, rosette arrangement of leaf plants become tall. How and why? Means due to the activity of gibberellic acid. Some examples of dwarf plants: sugar beet means beetroot, cabbage, cauliflower, and some other rosette arrangement of leaf plants. These types of dwarf plants, small plants, become tall due to internodal elongation of stems. That's all. Then what happened? Another example, sugar cane. Sugar cane. Sugar cane crop production increased nearly about 20 tons per acre. 20 tons per acre. Understood? No? Because in some areas farmers cultivate sugar cane, widely cultivating sugar cane in black soils. When we spray gibberellic acid on sugarcane plant, it increase internode elongation. Then what happened? Sugarcane plant grow more than 6 feet height, several feet height. That is benefit to the farmers. Due to application of gibberellic acid in sugarcane crop, farmers definitely obtain more than 20 tons per acre. 1 ton equals to how many kilos? 1000 kilos. 20 tons means 20,000 kgs extra crop yield, additional crop yield. That is benefit to the farmers. Understood? Now? These are some importance of gibberellic acid. Right? Next to cytokinin. Cytokinin. Third phytohormone, cytokinin. Cytokinin are of two kinds: animal cytokinin and plant cytokinin. Animal cytokinin example: kinetin. Kinetin. It is obtained from herring sperm. Herring sperm DNA. What is herring? a type of fish, marine fish. Marine fish. Next, plant. Plant cytokinin zeatin. Zeatin. Zeatin obtained from maize, kernel, means corn kernel, and coconut milk, corn kernel and coconut milk, etc. Scientists who first discovered cytokinin means F. Skoog performed experiments on internodes of tobacco plant. Internodes of tobacco plant. Right? Another scientist, Miller, first isolated and crystallized kinetin from herring sperm DNA. Understood now? Cytokinin, another important phytohormone like auxins and gibberellic acid. Cytokinin also very important phytohormone, plant growth regulator. It is are of two kinds, animal cytokinin and plant cytokinin. Animal cytokinin is kinetin obtained from herring sperm DNA. Herring means what? It is a type of marine fish living in salt water, seas and oceans. Right? A famous scientist, Miller first isolated kinetin from herring sperm DNA. Herring fish is there, na? Herring fish release sperm cells. The sperm cells contain DNA. From its DNA isolated one growth substance that is called kinetin. Kinetin function almost similar to cytokinin. Hence it is known as animal cytokinin. Next, plant cytokinin is zeatin. Zeatin obtained from corn kernel. Corn means maize plant. Maize scientific name Zea mays, scientific name, botanical name of the plant. Zeatin, Zea mays, Z, zeatin, Zea mays. Link is there, na? So based on this concept, you remember blindly, don't confuse. Zeatin is plant hormone and kinetin is animal cytokinin. Clear? So zeatin obtained from corn kernels, means seeds, popcorn seed kernels and coconut milk. Who first performed experiments on cytokinin means F. Skoog. He performed experiments on tobacco plant. It is one of the important commercial crop. Farmers cultivate tobacco crop in black soils. Okay, one of the business crop. Tobacco widely using in cigarette industries, beading industries and other fumigatory activities. From its internodes, F. Skoog isolated some particular substrates, but that time during those days he don't know that is called cytokinin, right? But after some time period, some other world biologists also performed the same experiments on internodes of tobacco plant and they isolated cytokinins from tobacco plant also. Later after Skoog, Miller performed experiments on herring sperm, and from its sperm DNA he was isolated a growth hormone that is called kinetin, and it was crystallized in the form of solids. That's all. That is just a brief introduction regarding cytokinin. Very very important concept for NEET object exam and KSET exam. Even 2020 final NEET exam and 2019 NEET exam, one question frequently asked from this area, particularly physiological role of cytokinins or types of cytokinins or scientist introduction. Clear? Now once briefly discuss physiological role of cytokinin. Its role, physiological role. The first role, cell division. Second role, cell elongation. And the third physiological role, inhibit apical dominance. It is quite opposite. This function is quite opposite to auxins, because auxins promote apical dominance, whereas cytokinins inhibit means stop apical dominance, reverse. Next, delay senescence. Senescence means what? Aging of leaf. Aging of leaf is called senescence. Next, add chlorophyll pigment to mesophyll tissues, etc. Next, promote flowering in several plant species. Understood now? Once you go through cytokinins physiological role, it promotes cell division, mitosis division, particularly mitosis cell division. It also promotes cell elongation. Due to cell elongation, cell highly elongated, enlarged, that helps in growth of the plant, growth of the stem and growth of the root. Next, auxins promote apical dominance, but cytokinins inhibit apical dominance. I told just now, apical dominance means suppression of lateral buds by terminal bud is called apical dominance, but cytokinins inhibit, stop apical dominance. This function is quite opposite to auxins. Along with auxins, cytokinins promote cell division. Clear? Next, cytokinins delay senescence. What is senescence? You may heard the word senescence in previous lessons also. Senescence means aging of leaf. That means what? Green color leaf slowly turn into yellow, then dry and wither off, dry and drop off. That phenomena is called senescence. It is common in majority of plants. Majority of dicot plants shade their leaf before summer season. After some time period, plants develop new leaves, etc. But cytokinins delay senescence. How? Means by adding chlorophyll pigment to the mesophyll tissue. When chlorophyll pigment added to the mesophyll tissue, green color leaf remain green. it never turn into yellow or any other color. Hence, in such a way, cytokinins delay senescence. Next, it promote flowering. It produce, in presence of cytokinins, various flowering plants produce large number of flowers. Then flower modify into fruit. Obviously, it is benefit to the farmers. Yes or no? These are the some important physiological role of cytokinins. Today we have discussed total 3 phytohormones: auxins, gibberellins, and cytokinins. Rest of the phytohormones will discuss coming video, coming class. Dear students, all of you watch this video properly. Try to understand the concept. After completion of watching video, the same concept read once in NCERT and our material, go through assignment. Right? Thank you very much. Prepare well and have a nice day. Thank you.